What's up, Topeka? Welcome to the I'm From Topeka podcast, broadcasted straight from the north, south, west to the east side. We're here to bring you the stories of people in the pulse of Topeka. Whether you're a longtime resident or just curious about what makes the city tick, we've got you covered. And today we have a very special guest, and I know I say that every time that I introduce somebody, but man, this young man is very influential, amazing role model for our community, from the youth all the way up to the elderly. This man is the man in my eyes, and that man goes by the name of JQ. Man, he has been doing his thing. So JQ, man, welcome. Man, welcome on.
Words, man. You the man. You the man who I saw out there when the Tropics was playing. Trying to get his Patrick Mahomes on. I was right there front row. I was like, look at this dude.
Let's go.
You the man, bro.
Nah, man, that's you, bro, man. Like I said, man, I want to give you your flowers while you're here, man, because we've worked at the Boys and Girls Club. I've watched your journey through being an influence in the community, being a role model for the youth, and also as a musician, man. You talk about so much positivity throughout your song, and you have real life messages that you really connect with people on. So. Yes, like I said, I want to give you your flowers while you're here, man, because a lot of people don't do that. And man, you're a huge influence for me, and I'm glad to be connected with you, but also I'm glad to be so connected with you that my son gets to see what you're doing here, and he has a positive role model and an influence to grow up to.
Man, bro, that I don't take those words, bro, just lightly. Thank you for that, and especially, and you know how I feel about the baby, so you throw the kids in there, it's like, okay, that's my, that's what I do it for, bro.
For sure.
And so when you say things like the positivity and the music and all that stuff, that's because that's who I do it for. I try to be the type of, like you said, role model. I don't know if that's the right word. I try to be the person that I wish I had to look up to when I was a kid.
For sure.
And like you guys got to tour the place. Like I'm trying to build a program that I wish I had when I was a kid. So no, I'm far from perfect. I got my ways that I need to progress and grow as well. But when it comes to the kids, everybody knows that I'm all in with that, bro.
For sure. For sure. And it shows, bro. It shows.
Yeah, it really does. And that's, I know one of the first times I've been kind of I've seen some social media things, heard good things from you, but it was the thing the event that was at last year at Brown versus Board. And I pulled up to that, man, and it was you were doing some poetry. It was just a
Get Down to T-Town.
Yeah, it was a Get Down to T-Town, and man, like I wasn't.
Shout out SJ.
I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting what it was your poetry too, man. It was obviously your music is great, but like what you were saying, your poetry and just the spirit and the passion and love behind that is what caught me. So
thank you. Bro.
Just a very good at articulating through poetry, man.
Thank you so much, bro. That was a really great show. That I remember that that performance. I was trying new things. I was performing songs that I had never performed before. So it felt really good to kind of show the community what I had been working on, because I hadn't really been performing or dropping anything for a while. So it was kind of my reintroduction to the music scene in the community. So the reception was very well. So I appreciate that, bro. That was a good time. And we got much, much more great music like that coming for sure. Yeah. Including, I don't know if
you on it. I mean, shoot, now if we're gonna do it, now's the time. I'd say,
you got a lot going on. So again, there's no rush with that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like, cause he said it, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
Including me and you was working on something together that's, I don't know if we want to tell them exactly what it is, just know it's something special.
We got something cooking.
Hey, I was working on my verse earlier, and I was like, oh man. Here's my problem, bro. I give too much. I need to backspace some. I'm like, man, this verse is too long.
He's ready to pour it out.
I said, dang, bro, how many words is this? I need to take some out.
Yeah.
So I'm editing my verse not to add more words. I need to take words away. Because I was inspired by that beat, bro. So yeah, bro, I can't wait for you to hear, bro. I already done told Randy, let's get that session, bro.
Oh man, yeah, that's gonna be fun. I can't wait. And I gotta be there for that. So that's
bro, for sure. I'll let you know.
So,
that's gonna be huge, man. I'm telling you, that's gonna be. Yeah, that's next level, bro.
I'm excited, bro.
Yeah,
man. The collab on that is gonna be huge,
and it's your heart behind it too, man. I'm that's what's felt so much, like especially when we talk about music, and as well as I do, when you're in the music industry and just kind of maneuvering through with other artists, it can be tough.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
it can be really tough because, you know, we stand 10 toes on the foundation of truth, and we represent what God, you know, is calling us, and that's where we run into. I know I run into a lot of issues. You know, I got to pray a ton. Otherwise, I just feel like, man, sometimes I'll be like, this is just too much. I don't even know how to maneuver through this.
Absolutely,
you know,
bro.
so. I give you props because you're shining, man, and you're creating something in this community that I'd love for you to get into. Like, we are sitting in your studio, in the new studio, in the new school.
That sounds crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell them about that, man. So obviously, if y'all are watching on YouTube, you can see where we're at. But this is the studio piece of where we're at inside this magnificent, thought through, amazing community building that JQ is behind. But we're gonna let him dive into that. But if you're listening, y'all are missing out. Y'all have to go watch this on YouTube because I mean, we got the tour earlier and it's beautiful, man. Everything that you got going. So tell me a little bit about that, man.
Man, so we're inside of Lois Curtis campus. Lois Curtis, in a really quick run through, she is a disabled woman who won a court case in the state of Georgia, but it's like the government did not follow through on their word on the benefits and the resources that she should have got. So she ended up dying last year in and out of institutions, poor, broke. But not only was she disabled, but she was an artist. So with this building and this organization, what we're doing, representing people who are disabled and advocating for them, but we're also using art to advocate. So we named it after her because she just kind of fit everything that we're trying to represent. So we're inside of Lois Curtis campus. We have, like you said, we're in the music studio. So like I pretty much am in charge of everything that involves the youth. So we have like I said, we work with disabled people all over the community, whether they're young or old, and whether they're mentally or physically disabled. And, we try to get them the resources and the needs and plug them in with the things that they need. And then on the other side, like I said, we make art to advocate for justice in all sorts of forms. So I'm in charge of the things that have to go on with the kids. So we have a summer program right now where we're paying 15. We got 15 interns working for us this summer, paid internship.
Let's go.
It's so fun. It's phenomenal. These kids are amazing. They're learning about working with people who are disabled that are their age as well. Because like I said, we hired people who are disabled as well.
Yeah.
So these kids, whether they have autism, or whether they're dealing with, like I was telling you earlier, PTSD and schizophrenia and these things, and even physical disabilities. So. But on the other side, I'm also in charge of the stuff that's going on artistically.
Yeah,
like that's you said, you're in my studio, which sounds ridiculous to even say. Looking at these instruments, looking at this booth, it's not quite finished yet. But as y'all see, the details and the foundation is kind of in the mud. So I'm just trying to like you were talking about the art that I've been making this whole time. That's before I had all of this. You know what I'm saying? So this is kind of just the Lord just blessing me for all those years of what you're saying of me.
Working.
Trying to remain positive, trying to use my art to advocate and speak up for people who can't speak up for themselves, and then in return you get blessed with something like this.
Yeah. And it takes going through the fire, man. Going through the fire for sure. Because
truly,
yeah. Like you literally, like I've seen the growth the whole time. You know what I mean? Like from Boys and Girls Club, you was working in the schools. You was doing all types of different things. Still doing music.
Yes, sir.
Doing some shows, putting out shooting your own music videos, doing your own recordings. Doing all that stuff. It's come a long way, and for you to be here, man, like I said, that's why I was like, man, you deserve the flowers because you've been through it, much like Mike and I, our stories and stuff, and people have gotten to know, but it takes years, it takes years, and people might look at you right now and think like, oh man, he's got a studio, he's at the school, he's got this, and he didn't really get it from the mud and from the ground up, but you really have, man. They see that they seen like one of the top results of where you're at right now, but this is still like it's the very beginning too.
Man, bro, it's crazy you said that because it's like I'm with all of these blessings, as y'all know, as my brothers in faith, my brothers in Christ sitting next to me, like New levels, new devils is a quick way I can say what I'm trying to say.
Yes. Yeah.
So when the Lord's blessing you with everything that you've ever dreamed of and asked for, the devil's looking at that too, you know, and he's like, let me try to send some distractions his way. Let me try to send some destruction his way. And you have those naysayers, those quote unquote people who are looking at what you're doing in the community. And instead of shedding light on something positive happening in the city that they live in, they rather talk down and disrespect it because it's not them doing it. And it's like, you know, instead of using what's going on over here as inspiration for you to go do what you're doing and for you to go do what you're talented and gifted at, you like, oh, I'm just going to hate on the man who's using his gift for something positive. It doesn't make sense. But with that, the Lord is helping me to get new mental habits that I need to have that I didn't have, when one of those things is not caring about what people say. Because I've been big on caring about what other people think, what other people say about me. And with the last year that I had in my life, it's like, bro, I've got to the point where I'm like, I can care less about what anybody say or think, because these people don't even know me. They don't even know my life. They saying something based off of what somebody else told them. You know, but if they came and talked to me, they would know that they have no clue what they're talking about. So the people who really know me, like, you know what I'm saying, people who plugged in with me and love me and know about me, they already know the deal. You know what I'm saying? So that's why what you're saying is so
hard to let that go, though. That's tough, man. Especially because as an artist in general, we're sensitive people.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
Creative people, I believe, we're a little extra sensitive. So we care so much about what people think, and it's hard to. You'll find yourself even in your thought processes. It'll sit there and you'll be thinking about it. And it'll waste your thought process energy. Like, why is that person, man? Like, what? They don't even know me. Why do they think that? What is, like, it'll eat my lunch, bro. I'll sit there and for just off of social media, off of a comment sometimes. Man, what? I'll dive into their profile and start looking like, what? I wonder, what is it? Like, and then it just wastes like an hour sometimes. Like, but that's tough, though. That's tough, though, man.
It's very tough, bro. And for me personally, that's why I was in a meeting with my agent today, and I said, man, we gotta hire somebody to do my social media, because social media is bad for my mental health. It just is. It just like when I'm scrolling, when I'm playing the comparison game, when I'm you know, comparing somebody's highlight reel to my real life, and when I'm you know, like I said, doing things out of egotistical purposes to get attention from people who don't even care for real. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why am I doing that? It's like, it's like for me personally, when I'm offline and that screen is off, I tend to find myself in a more mental space where I'm not in that clouded way of thinking.
Just fogged and like kind of doubtful, thinking, weird, foreign thoughts, other people's things you saw on the news feed, you know what I mean? And man,
I want to say something. I mean, I know that, like I said, y'all my brothers, and it's just like, so how spiritual do y'all get on here? You know,
we deep, bro.
Okay,
we deep.
We
deep, bro.
I know. That's our life. We talk off the mic, but I didn't know.
No. We like, hey, man, we shining that light, man. We wouldn't be here without it.
Okay, that's beautiful. I wanted to make sure. So I heard something this week, bro, from my favorite pastor, Stephen Furtick. He said, man, sometimes the devil don't even need to do anything with you. He's on vacation. He done already got your mind programmed to think these negative thoughts and beat yourself down. He ain't even got to go out of his way to try to get in your mind and make you think insecure, anxious thoughts. He already got you programmed that way to where he can go on vacation and you'll ruin yourself. You'll make yourself stress out.
Exactly.
And when he said that, I was like, bro, that's so real, because I really can relate. Like, those thoughts that we're talking about, the reason I can say what I'm saying right now is because of how much I've let those things affect me, bro. And I'm looking like,
it'll turn you bit. It'll be like, this is not, you feel it too. It's like that world you start soaking in, and it's like, get off me. Like, nope, get out of my get out of my head, get out of my system.
Bro, get out of my head.
And it's balanced with social media, but here's the thing. That's what social media is, such a great tool.
This is true.
The reason it feeds so much into making you compare yourself is because that's what the algorithm does. That's what keeps you on their platform. Is like, we're gonna show you people that are doing it a little bit bigger than you, or that are just they're posting every day. We're gonna make sure we feed that to you, so you just feel like you're a little bit behind, and so it just keeps you. It's a business move that really caught everybody, bro.
It is. It's
caught
very
everybody.
true, bro. This is very true. Even those people who are those people.
Man.
Those people who have the most followers.
They're doing the
who's
same
like,
thing.
They just doing the same
doing
thing.
the
It's
same
like, wait,
thing.
you got more followers than anybody.
And
Why
they're just
are you
doing it just for the numbers at some point. You're just like, well, I got, and you can get so lost, bro. And it's so far from reality and sitting with people. You're playing a different game that keeps you just distracted all the time.
This is very true, bro. Very true.
Yeah.
That's the thing, Mike. You hit. Social media is a tool. Man, I have my folder on my phone. It's literally all my social media apps, and it's labeled tools. Like I think once people make that connection, that social media is literally just a tool. It's just a tool to help you grow instead of making it their life. A lot of people make social media their life, or they try to make it their life because they're comparison. Yeah, they don't know how to separate.
Yeah.
It's a tool to help you grow. It's a tool to get your music out there. It's a tool to get your personality out there. But when you start looking at it into like, this is my life, is when it really starts to take, that's when the devil's like, come on, I'm gonna show you.
And I agree. Like both of y'all are saying a phenomenal thing about how it can be used for something positive. It's like I hope to get there one day to where it's like I can just look at it for the tool that it is to use. But it's like, but at this particular time, I know that it's more. I think it's more of a detox that I'm needing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I'm needing
it.
that break, and then when I can come back with it with a new perspective, and now I'm able to utilize it the way it was meant to be utilized versus, like you said, making it such a priority that is really not, because it's like I need to turn it off for a little. I need that 40 days. I need that 40 days without it. That cleanse. For sure.
It's refreshing too.
Yeah.
Because God can't even get through to you when you're distracted like that. And that's what I started to realize is I'm missing out. Like I feel like I'm starving myself and I'm filling myself up with, because like we eat. And when you're doing that and you're stuck in a scroll every day, like it's gonna come out. Like all the stuff is sticking somewhere.
Yeah.
So man,
very true,
I felt that though when you said I need to just take that break, get the toxins out, man, and then come back just refreshed.
Yeah, for sure,
it's real.
I've learned that, like I used to be big on like, I need to create this content and post it right now. But man, when you can schedule stuff, like I've learned to create the content, because I'm such a creative. Like I could create. It's just hard when it comes to social media, because it's like, okay, how do I post this? How do I do this? You know what I mean? Like I know my content's good, but it's not good enough to where the algorithm's gonna push it. Once I got to that point where I let go of it, you know what I mean? I was like, I don't need to post it right now. I'm gonna schedule it. And then I schedule it, and then I just forgot about it. Then all of a sudden it came up. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I did that. So then I repost it, or I do something, you know what I mean? But the moment, like it's let go and let God. You know what I mean? Man, like when you let that happen, like that's how I've let it go. Like that's honestly how my TikTok really like blew up. That's how like my Facebook and stuff really blew up. Yeah, I've been putting in work for years of doing it, but also I've let go of the expectation of like, this is supposed to blow up.
And that's supposed to so important. That's because with music, like I'm sure, I don't know if you'll like, this is gonna be, bro. This one, I know this one is gonna be. I know I've dropped some good ones, but wait for this one, and then they'll love the one that you're like, it's okay. They'll be like, we love that one, and you're like, did you hear that one? No, you'll try to point them in like your favorite, and they're like, but I love this one, and it's like, that's cool, but so it's
happens every time.
We can't control those things, and when you try to do it, it'll drive you crazy. For sure. It'll have you mad at people for no reason, like well, why didn't you, why don't you like that one, why don't you, and it'll have you looking at people wrong. It's like. And they may have not even heard it yet. Maybe they didn't even get a chance to sit down and look at it. But you're like, you didn't like it yet. You didn't hear it yet. Like, so letting go and letting God is huge when it comes to dropping music or art or anything.
For sure.
And I'm learning that so much in this season of my life, bro, because it felt like for a while the Lord was trying to tell me what to let go of, and I wasn't necessarily listening. And then He forces you to let go. And it's like, all right, the best I can. Here's a picture that I saw that perfectly describes what I feel like the Lord has been teaching me, because I've been struggling to let go of things and people.
That's what that's the thing. People disappear. He'll take them.
More than just things, it's people. I've lost so many close, immediate friends, even family, and even people I've had intimate relationships with. That's like that. It's just like God, you don't want to see these people go, but it's like life takes them anyway. You can't. So you're trying to hold on tight, and it's like the tighter the grip, it's like the more you're losing it. Versus it's just like God's just like, just let go.
Just let go,
because you're not in control anyway. So when you let go, you do find that sense of peace. But a lot of us, we still continue to struggle. And this picture that I saw that really blessed me was, it's like an AI picture of this little girl. She's holding this teddy bear that's a normal sized teddy bear, and in one hand, Jesus is asking her to hand him the small teddy bear, and he has a ginormous bear behind him.
Yep.
And she's like, I don't want to let this bear go, not knowing
that there's something bigger
I
out there.
have something even bigger, greater. I have what you want that's 100 times even greater than what you want.
Yeah.
And you're scared to let me go. And so when I saw that, bro, it spoke volumes to me, because it's like, dang, I am holding on to something tight because it's what I want, not realizing what he wants for me is even greater than what I want for myself.
Man,
for sure.
So it's like, if you just let go of your own expectations and your own strategies and pick up mine, you gonna ultimately win the game even better than you could have on your own. So so that let go and let God that y'all talking about, that's a cliche saying that people say all the time.
Yeah, all the time, but they don't really do it.
You don't really do it, and you don't really even understand what it means to do that. So I've heard that saying my whole life growing up in the church, but it's like, but to actually be in it to where God's really trying to teach you and you're having to practice it.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ball game.
It's just like praying, you know what I mean? Like you pray, like if you're like me, like you pray in the morning, you pray at night.
Absolutely.
But it's all one of those things. It's like, all throughout the day, like you pray. But a lot of things that we pray for, you know, God heard it, you know what I mean? And then we just got to let go of it, you know what I mean? Like we keep on like trying to grip the same thing and like, oh, okay, I want a cheeseburger for lunch. I want a cheeseburger for lunch. God, give me a cheeseburger for lunch. Give me a cheeseburger for lunch. And then when you finally like don't think about having a cheeseburger for lunch, all of a sudden someone's going to like, someone walk in the building, they like, hey, we got cheeseburgers for lunch today. Yeah. And it's just like, oh, like I let go of it. But when you focus on it, I know there's a big difference between manifestation and letting go and let God, but also manifestation is understanding that I know I'm getting it. I know it's coming because a higher power above me is gonna give that to me.
Bro, everything you just said is, he said, don't worry about what you're going to eat today.
Yeah.
He said, look at the birds. He said, they not stressing about their meal because they
not worried about tomorrow.
That I'm going to feed them. The flowers ain't worried. You stressing about that cheeseburger. I already got the person coming to bring you the cheeseburger while you sitting over there stressing. Why are you worried about what he said?
I'm 10 steps ahead.
And when I kept reading that, you know, because he was talking about what you're eating, what you're going to drink, what you're going to wear, he said, man, that's how unbelievers think.
Yeah.
They stressing about what they going to eat and what they gonna wear to some function tonight that's ultimately gonna leave them in trouble. How about you just trust that I got your day already planned out? Because like you said, you woke up this morning and you prayed to me and you trusted me with your day. Do you really trust me with your day? To all my athletes out there, when I be talking to my kids, not necessarily my kids, but the students that I have, I tell them, I'm like, you know, a lot of times when we say let go and let God and we trust in God with something, it's like, but when he don't move at our time, it's like we take it back. So I said to, you know, young boys always use sports analogy. So I'm like, it's like being on a basketball team and you pass God the ball and you're like, you got it. And then when he don't go score as fast as you want, you run over and steal the ball out of his hand. Like, all right, God, I gave you the ball, but you didn't move fast enough. Now let me It's like, wait a second, I'm on your team. You gave me the ball and came and snatched it out of my hand because I didn't move at your pace. So it's like you said, it's easier said than done. Most people ain't really doing it. Most of us is going to take that ball.
They want to take
for
it.
Sure. And that's true faith though. That's we've been talking about that a lot. That's truly trusting. And you have to at some point to really like surrendering. We've talked about that a lot too. To like really let God give him all control. And when you do, you know, I get that too. I feel that when you said like, because we'll stress about every single thing. There's so many, like, you know, all the detailed things in life when we wake up, all the things that we could just be stressing about. It'll be every single thing all the time too. And if we're not, when we're moving in faith, it's like, it's just a completely different walk, different everything, thought process, perception.
This is true, bro.
As we get deeper, you know, and we talking about like the whole faith and, you know, walking that walk, like tell us a little bit about you growing up here in Topeka, man, and also like how you got into music, and then that you've opened up for Lecrae. You've opened up for Eric Thomas. Like you've opened up for some very well-known acts, you know what I mean? And like you've been the one that brings them out onto the stage. So get into like how you started music and like kind of what led you down that path with faith, because music's not easy, bro.
No,
it's not easy.
It's not.
And like being able to open up for them is not easy. It's not something that's just like, oh, you're do music, well, come do this. So tell us about that.
Oh man, so growing up in Topeka in general, I was I was kind of an oxymoron, because half of the time I was in the church. I was what you would kind of what you would call a PK, which is a preacher's kid, but I was a preacher's grandkid, but I lived with my grandparents.
Okay.
So like my grandpa is a bishop, my grandma is a missionary, but I lived with them. So it's like, okay, technically I'm not a PK, but they're raising me. And I'm in their house, and so that I was at church every Sunday. Sometimes I was there all day because you got to go to somebody else's church after your church. I was at Bible study on Tuesday nights. I was at children's choir rehearsal on Wednesday nights. I was that kid, grandma, Bibles all over the house, praying all day. Like that was my upbringing, mom in the choir. But on the flip side, when I would go to my dad's side of the family, man, we had pimps, we had drugs, we had gangbangs, we were thugging. So it's like I had the half and half my entire life. So it's like I saw this world and I saw that world, and I was kind of in the middle because they both 50-50 equally raised me. So that I'll tell y'all on a personal note that I could tell y'all spiritually, it didn't help with lukewarmness and being double-minded. Because if that's your whole life, you're going to struggle with being lukewarm and double-minded, because you were taught that both is
okay.
It's okay, and this is your normal. So when you're trying to fully live in the spirit and deny flesh and walk with Christ, it's like you're like, now wait a second, but this is all I know here. It's just like, so it's like it's that. So that was how I came up. So like just kind of 50-50 in both worlds. Mom was a teacher, educator my whole life, so I think that was where my love for kids came from. And like I said, she was in the choir. So my mom was where a lot of my musical influence came from. All of my favorite artists were coming from my mom. So my first dream was to be an animator. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I was Walt Disney everything. Still to this day. Still to this day, I'm pretty much Disney fanatic. But that was my first dream. Outside, I wanted to be a preacher like my grandpa. You see what you look at what's close to you.
Closer,
But if I'm being completely honest, what made me want to be a performer was Michael Jackson. It wasn't even hip hop. It was Mike.
Was it the performance, what he used to do?
It's his videos, it's the way he's dancing, it's the way he commanded the crowd on the stage. I saw that. Obviously his music is good. I'm not taking anything away from his music. Obviously he's GOAT, right? But specifically him as a performer, entertainer. They call him the greatest entertainer of all time. So I'm watching how he entertains. And I was like, I want to do that. I didn't know exactly how that was, but that's when I put the drawing pencil down and was like, I need to be in front of the camera on a stage. I gotta do that. I gotta do that. Now specifically hip hop, it sounds crazy, but Run DMC, bro.
Oh wow!
And to think about that sounds weird for a 10-year-old kid in the late 2000s. To be listening to 1983 raps. But remember Run's House, the TV show?
I was just gonna say, was it Run's House?
So I was watching MTV, and I used to love Run's House, and my mom was like, and I was like, who is this dude? My mom was like, he's a rapper. I said, this old man is a rapper? She said, well, not anymore. She said, but he was. So she shows me Run DMC video. She's like, that's him. And I was like,
what?
Bro.
Bing.
Boom.
I saw the DJing with the turntables. I saw how him and DMC was commanding the crowds. They was doing like Mike was doing, but they was rapping like the hip hop that my dad be playing in the car. So it was like,
you found a combination.
I found a combination. They was wearing Adidas like me. I've only wore Adidas since I was 8 years old. So I'm watching them with their Adidas, and I'm like, that's me. I saw myself again. And ever since then, bro, I bounced back and forth with different dreams. I was looking at what Tyler Perry doing. I was writing plays. I was looking at what they was doing, trying to do things. Like I always just wanted to be an entertainer, bro, and just to make art. It wasn't just music.
It's artist.
It was just art as a whole. I want to act. I want to make poems. I want to do funny stuff. I wanted this. I wanted that. I want to draw. I want just art, right? Now I want to say this because you mentioned 2 names earlier. After Run DMC, I'm gonna be all the way 100 with it. Jay-Z took my inspiration to the next level, to the point where I've had to multiple times ask the Lord to forgive me for idolatry. Because it got with Jay-Z, it got bigger than just inspiration. Yeah, it wasn't like, okay, Mike's inspires me, Run DMC inspires me, Walt Disney inspires me. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to be Jay-Z. Yeah. It was a different Jay-Z.
Like holding him a little bit higher,
It was higher than inspiration, because when I read the Bible and I'm reading about idolatry, I'm like, well, I do that every day with Jay-Z. Yeah. And I had to check myself, and then I started to realize, okay, like, I hear, okay, one of my favorite artists' new song comes out. All right, that's cool. Jay-Z's dropping the album tonight. Stop the whole rest of the night.
Yeah.
So we're taking the whole day off?
Yeah. I'm calling in to work. I got to get my breakfast now because it's going to be Jay-Z all day. Right? So it became that. So that, because I'm seeing myself, but even different. I'm like, no, I want to be exactly like that. Mm-hmm. And Christ is kind of like, and sitting over there like, now, wait a second. Yeah. Because y'all also have to think, what made it even more dangerous and harder for me was Jay-Z wasn't just your average rapper. He's the one who's calling himself God. Yeah. He's H to the Izzo. Yeah. He's Hova, right? He's I can't even quote, I can't even put into hands how many quotes I can quote from Jay-Z where he's labeling himself to God or Jesus. Mm-hmm. Bro, the God Did song last year. He's sitting in the middle of the table at the Last Supper, comparing himself to Christ. That was dangerous for me, bro, because it was like, now wait a second, this exact guy who you're idolizing is disrespecting the one who you say you living for. Mm-hmm. Yes. Back to that.
That's a challenge.
Confliction, bro.
Yeah, when it was such an influence, that's what it's a challenge. It makes it so tough.
So to end with that, I found Lecrae. Yeah. And it was Kyle Brown, who used to run Young Life. He was like, man, because I told him what I'm telling y'all about Jay-Z. I'm like, man, I'm struggling with this idolatry thing. And he said, man, you ever heard of Lecrae? And I'm like, no. And he's basically showing me like, hey, man, I'm not trying to say he's as good as Jay-Z, but trust me, this dude is legit. Yeah. And listen to what he's doing. Mm-hmm. He's doing what I think you're saying you're trying to do. Because I wanted to change my lyrics, bro, because when I first started to I'm kind of moving too fast. Let me come back.
You're good.
Right, you're good, man.
Being in the church, we was going to other churches performing. Now you gave me a chance. After I found, I like Michael, I like Run DMC, I like Jay-Z. Now y'all giving me a chance to put a microphone in my hand in front of a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. But I'm at a church. But it didn't matter. I play whatever music y'all got. And from the very moment, bro, from the very moment I said my first word on the microphone, it was a rap. And it got to the point where people was looking at each other like, how old is he?
Yeah.
He's 10. Rapping like that, it came so natural, bro. I can't really describe it. Yeah. I can't tell you how it was happening. It just was happening,
That's like
bro.
a spiritual moment.
It was a spiritual moment.
Even,
I was watching it for so many years that a lot of times when you hand a microphone to somebody, you like, all right, well, here's your chance.
They seize up. They're like, oh,
bro, I'm the complete opposite. I'm that guy who can't go to concerts because I get anxiety because I'm not on stage.
Yeah, man, I feel you.
Most people get anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Most people get anxiety if you put them on there. No, I'm getting anxiety
like,
in the crowd.
I want to be in there. I want to be up there.
For real.
That's why I don't go to shows, bro, because I'm mad the whole time. Like, man, how can I get that microphone, bro?
Right. Like, let me run one just real quick.
Just one song, bro. I got kicked out of a few concerts from asking
like, you said, I got my thumb drive right here, bro. I keep it with me.
Okay, but so... from that very first moment, bro, it was a rap for me. And then I started to professionally record music by the time I was 12. My cousin, for those of you in the Topeka community, Payne, Propane, Young Payne, he was doing tremendous things in the community. I remember he had a gigantic poster in the mall, and they was selling 2 of his CDs at the same time, and I'm like, I'm related to him. And so I remember one day like, man, how can I do what you're doing? Because I'm seeing all these other people who are famous doing it. You're the closest person I know that's doing that. Yeah. And when he talked to me about how to book studio time, by the time I was 12 years old, I was taking all of my allowance money going to the studio, bro, on my own. I'm a 12-year-old taking, hey, mom, I'm cutting the grass. All right, I got to. I'm going straight to the studio with all of it. But I was I wasn't talking about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 12. I'm 13. What can I talk about?
Like, what experience do you have? Like, you ain't got a car.
Soulja Boy was the biggest artist in the world at the time. He was. I have to say this.
Yeah.
This is, at this time I'm talking about, this is peak Soulja Boy, lean with it, rock with it music, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sounding like that.
You say you.
Yeah.
I'm straight Soulja Boy, Wiz Khalifa, all of that. That was how I was sounding.
Man, that time was different.
That was y'all know, y'all was with me that time. So I'm sounding like that, and my grandma, I love her so much, on her spirituality, she's just looking at me like, the lyrics ain't it. And then when your mama, who supports you in everything you do, and she's kind of even like, man, son, like the lyrics.
It hurts when your mom says something. It's like,
and it's not that it was trash.
No,
bro.
but when you listen,
she just
when
knew
mom
it wasn't
said,
right.
yeah,
she
said it ain't quite there yet. Like what you're saying ain't quite there yet.
And to be honest with you, if I can really sum up what they were saying, like I said, they weren't saying that my lyrics was trash or the songs were bad. They were saying that's not you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
You're pretending to be Soulja Boy, Wiz Khalifa, Jay-Z, whoever. Be JQ.
Yeah,
You're taking on these personas.
So I didn't know how to do that. So fast forward to the conversation with Kyle. Obviously, I'm struggling with Jay-Z. I'm not Jay-Z. How do I be JQ? And Kyle basically was like, man, here's what I think. Because of your spirituality, because of how unashamed you are of your faith, look at this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget, bro. I went home and I listened to every Lecrae song, every project he had, and here's how God works. From this, everybody listening, I'm looking at this camera.
Yeah.
From here on out, the story gets crazy.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Bro, right on that day when I'm listening to all his music, come to find out, for the first time ever, Lecrae just so happens to be coming to Topeka in 2 weeks. And I was like, wait a second.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Wait.
So that was the first time, like 2 weeks before, is when you
2 weeks before that I opened that show. That was the first time.
The one that was downtown. The one that was I pulled security. I was backstage security for him in Triple E because that's when Triple E came in.
Bro,
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
I didn't know him.
Dang.
So Kyle's like, check this guy out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, and I'll go. And then I get on Facebook and there's a picture of him and it says Topeka. And I said,
wait a second, huh?
So obviously,
that's amazing.
I'm like, well, I gotta open.
Yeah.
Because by this time, by that second week, I had already been inspired. I had already made music for the show.
Yeah,
you saw I know all the songs. Yeah. I went through every album.
I've been listening to them for the last. I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I just remember calling around and Advisors Excel was holding this conference to bring Lecrae. I thought it was the Lecrae show. So I went to Advisors Excel thinking it was the concert and thinking he was going to be there.
Yeah.
He wasn't there. So I sitting there, and by the time I get out of my feelings mad, Cody Foster, who, if you were into Kansas, you know who Cody Foster is.
We know who Cody is. Yeah.
He was the only one talking at the thing. So I'm like, well, obviously, he's the guy to talk to.
You need to talk to him. Yeah.
I go up to him, long story short, bro, and I'm like, hey, how do I open? He's like, no, I can't, he's looking, I'm a kid, I'm 16.
Yeah.
No, we ain't doing none of that. I said, well, can you at least take my demo? My say, because I thought it was a show. I brought my tape.
Yeah, right.
So I had my tape with me.
This man's going to get this somewhere important.
I had my tape with me. I used to sell mixtape at my lockers at Topeka High. I kept a mixtape in my pocket.
Wait. From where?
From Topeka High.
Hoy, Mighty Troy, let's go.
Let it out. Every episode.
I was at the locker selling the mixtapes. SRO every year, y'all know that.
Yeah.
And at this time, I'm glad you brought that up because at this time, I don't want to say headline, but I'm being for real, headlining the Topeka High Talent Show every year.
Yeah.
That first year, I didn't know it existed, and I missed it freshman year. Back to seeing people on stage. Now I'm looking at my classmates on stage performing for the whole school, and I wasn't up there. Michael Jordan, I took that personal.
Yeah. Oh, I know you did.
I took that personal. I know you did.
I would have too.
I said, I'm never missing this out again. The very first day of sophomore year, I said, when's that talent show?
Yeah.
From then on out, I never missed it.
It's like, JQ, that's next semester, bro.
Bro, even when I transferred to Hope Street, Topeka High brought me back to headline.
Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on a second. Where'd you transfer to?
Hope Street Academy.
Shout out Hope Street, baby. Shout out Hope Street. Yeah, let's go.
Best of both
Yeah,
worlds.
man.
Best
Come
of
on
my
now.
life.
Finally.
Yeah.
All right.
Bro,
All right, thank
okay,
you.
Yeah,
Baby, yeah. Yes, sir.
Respect.
Yep.
Okay.
09. Graduated in 09. So shout out Hope Street.
Perfect, bro. So there it is.
Yeah.
I went to Hope Street and they brought me back. They didn't even know I left.
Oh, dang.
Even after graduation, bro, I went back to speak at Topeka High a few years ago. They said, Topeka High graduate. I said, I didn't graduate. I said, I graduated from Hope Street. They said, for real? I said,
Listen, that's mind blowing me. I didn't know that. I thought you was a alum at Topeka
wild.
High. That's wild.
that's good to know.
Okay.
Let's
this is
go,
life.
man.
So,
Yeah,
right, so
okay.
at this time,
Yeah.
I'm like, can I get it, bro? So for those 2 weeks, I'm blowing Cody's email up. I got his car. Let me open. Finally, after like the 10th time, he kind of got a little like, man, like you're not listening.
Yeah, like-
I said no. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna piss the man off. So I just started making calls, bro. And I found out that the very first place he was going was Boys and Girls Club. Now, I just had left working with Boys and
Yeah,
Girls
yeah.
Club with you. So I said,
Let me call Don real
let
quick.
me call Don
Let me
real
call
quick.
Don real quick.
Shit, me and just how's your girl? What you doing?
Yeah.
I said, is it true Lecrae's coming? She said, yeah, he'll be here at 3:00. I said, is there any way you can have me rap and perform before he gets on the mic? She said, sure.
Oh, that
Let's
easy.
go.
That's crazy.
It sounded like it was that easy, bro, which is crazy.
lot of-
but
yeah,
it's
hoops.
real.
You went through a lot of hoops. Yeah, it sounds like just to get there.
So, bro,
That's wild.
Cody shows up with Lecrae,
Yes.
and there I am, microphone
This kid, man.
in
This
hand,
kid.
beat loaded, and he's like, now wait a second.
I said you're not opening up
I
for
said
him.
no.
Before Cody could even get a word in and say no,
Click play. I'm
There
gonna
you
drop
go.
this high
You
16
said, hold
for
on.
you.
Let me show
Play.
you. Let me show you.
and for all those who follow me, you can go on my TikTok and all that stuff and
Yeah.
see the actual footage because the whole thing is on tape.
Yeah.
I gotta go
Bro.
see that.
I spit my hardest verse for Lecrae, bro. After performing the song, I performed before he got up, and then when the beat's done, I look right at him. I just start giving him my hardest bars, bro. And he's looking, and he pulls his phone out. Like I said, it's on tape, and he's recording me like this, bro.
Yo.
While he's listening to me rap. And after that, bro, I chop it up with him after he got done talking to the kids, and Cody pulls me to the side, bro. And he said, man, I told you no. Matter of fact, I told you no 100 times. And you still found a way to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, he hires me at Advisors Excel. I'm a teenager, bro. I'm a teenager. I don't have any college degree. I shouldn't be working at Advisors Excel at all.
Yeah.
But he specifically hired me due to tenacity and ambition.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Cody for that.
Yeah,
though. That's
shout out
amazing.
Cody Foster.
I told this young man no over and over and over again, and he found a way to make it happen. I'm
sure.
gonna hire this kid.
Yeah.
And from then on out, you know, me and Cody not only built the friendship and the bond, but it's like I wasn't just working for him. Like it became a thing to where he's like, okay, well, if he can do that, what else can this kid
Yeah.
do,
What
man?
else can he do? Yeah.
Which led to Eric Thomas and stuff like that, which is crazy because I tell this people, and then I'm gonna be done with this story. When I had a vision board, Eric Thomas was talking about vision boards, and I remember this story is gonna all tie together. So I got to open up for Lecrae 3 years in a row because remember he came 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Then the second time he brought Tadashi and Trip Lee,
Yeah.
and now you got open for all three.
Was that
Yeah.
at FBC or
No,
Was
that
the
third
that
one?
was the
Okay.
year
Yeah, I heard-
after.
okay, that's right.
The year
That's right.
after when
Yeah.
KB came to that one.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm panicking because now I done found out the whole 116 movement. So now I got open for all three, and I felt like I did such a terrible job, bro. And after that, I beat myself up so hard to the point where I didn't even enjoy the show, because I was so disappointed in myself, and
Why? Like what? Why were you disappointed? What happened?
I felt like I didn't execute on the performance, bro. I think that was one of the only times that I was actually really nervous.
Man.
And really what happened was, bro, Lecrae got out of the Cadillac Escalade and he looks at me aggressively. I don't think you should talk to a kid this way.
Yeah.
He looked at me and said, yeah, you did good last year. He said, can you do it again with my boys? And walks off. I didn't know who his boys were. And he walks away. Then Trip Lee and Tadashi come across the court. I'm like,
What?
Said them.
Yeah,
Those are
These
the
guys?
boys he's talking
yeah,
about?
that's your boys.
I know every word to
So
all
I've
these
been
dudes'
bumping
music.
all their music.
Yeah.
Hold
So
up.
that was one of the only times
Yeah.
that I could say I was on the mic, bro, and I was just kind of nervous because they're just all three on the side looking at me.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, bro, and these are your heroes, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, so I was really nervous. And after the show, I got home and I'm not gonna lie, bro, I was angry at God. There was one of those few moments where I was angry at God because he knew how important that moment was for me. And it was easier for me to blame him for me messing up than blaming myself.
Yeah, I feel that.
And one of the only times I could say in my life where I clearly heard the voice of God talking to me, and he basically gave me a plan on what I need to do. He told me your intentions was wrong.
I was just finna say that. I was just gonna say, do you think you blame God, but God was literally trying to be like, "No, you're not ready yet."
You're not
but
ready.
yeah, you're not ready yet.
Yeah,
Like, because I know where
Yeah.
you think you're gonna go with this,
Bro.
and it's not gonna be that.
It was exactly that. You're not ready. Your intention was wrong. These men are in the position they're in because they're not doing it for themselves.
Man.
Yeah.
And you wanted this moment for you.
But
So no,
look,
I can't let you kill the
He said it
performance
ain't time
because
yet. It ain't time
because
like
you're
this
not
yet.
ready. Because
Yeah.
if you kill it and they do give you a deal, you gonna blow it.
Yep,
Yeah, look,
exactly.
it ain't
Yep,
time yet.
exactly.
I'm glad
time
it
yet.
didn't work out.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah, now.
at this time, no.
About two seconds afterwards, you was ready to square up with God.
And one of the craziest things, and like I told the people, it gets crazy from here out because from the Cody to the Lecrae to everything became divine after this. He said, I want you to make a 10-song project. This is God's. Again, I know some people who don't believe gonna say it's crazy, but y'all know it's real.
For sure.
10-song project. I want you to make an album about the 10 commandments, a song for each commandment. But you're going to teach kids about the importance of it in today's era because they're probably not reading the Bible. They probably don't even know what the 10 commandments is. They may have heard of it. They don't know what they are. How about you educate them musically? I said, God, that sounds trash. I said, I'm not doing that. That sounds weak, God. I'm trying to brag about me. You trying to make me give a 10-song Bible lesson to these kids. I'm not.
So that sounds like a hymn, old church hymn.
That sounds
what?
like something that my
Wait a
grandma
minute.
would have.
Wait a
That
minute.
sounds like Veggie Tales music.
Yeah, exactly.
Months go by, bro. And it was one of those things where kind of every week or so, he would remind me, and I'm still saying that's trash. It wasn't until like 4 months later, I'm a humongous Eric Thomas fan. Me and you both was on ET
Yeah.
at
Same.
Boys and
I
Girls
was there. I
Yeah,
saw you
yeah,
there too.
yeah.
No, not the Boys and Girls. I saw you open for him.
Yeah.
though.
Eric Thomas,
Yeah.
bro, was one of those people who, I was looking at like I was looking at Walt Disney and them, but the difference is he was a believer.
Yeah.
It's the same with Lecrae. I'm looking at you different than Jay-Z because unlike these famous people, you guys have Christ in your content and it's just as good as everything else.
Exactly.
So I never missed the Eric Thomas video.
Yeah.
TGIM,
Yeah,
right?
TGIM. Yep.
So this particular TGIM I'm watching, I'm depressed that day, bro. I'll never forget it. And he goes, for all these kids with depression, he said, let me talk to you about something. He said, y'all ever heard of the 10 Commandments? I turned the TV off, bro.
No, not right
You
now.
said, wait.
Not right now.
He said, I've already been thinking about this. I
Yeah.
don't want to hear it like
So
that.
finally, after my pity party, I turned the video back on. Eric Thomas basically gives a whole video about the 10 Commandments and the importance of them in today's society. That
at
was the
God,
day I
though.
said, okay, long story short, it took me 5 years to finish that project. In fact, there's probably like 7 or 8 different versions of this project. I eventually got it finished with the help of my friend Tone. He just years after years. I wasn't gonna give up finally, bro. I was like, no, God told me to do this, so that's why it took me so long. But bro, I said I'm gonna finish it and we're gonna put it out in October. 10 Commandments, 10:10. We're gonna put it out. And my bro was like, well, write on a vision board like Eric Thomas said. So I wrote it down. And then he said, write some other stuff on there. Just think about it. I said, well, shoot, let's keep it on Eric Thomas. I said, I want to open up for Eric Thomas. I want to open up for Lecrae again. But instead of Topeka, I want to be in Atlanta. I want to be where he's at.
Yeah.
And then I started writing some more. So he's all right, bro. That's too much. He said, you think
That's
too
some
big.
heavy.
Yeah, you too
that's-
big. Yeah.
In the next year, every single thing on that board came true.
Wow,
We put the project out, open for Eric Thomas, where y'all see on that day, on October 10th,
Yeah.
open up for Eric Thomas, who just so happened to come to Topeka. And then I get a call and invite to come fly to Atlanta to open up for Lecrae. I was looking at my bro and I was kind of like, it felt scary.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I have to be honest with y'all. It felt scary. So, yeah, bro, that's kind of my journey of like music. And ever since I finally finished that 5-year project, it's kind of been smooth sailing since there, because I finally reached a point where I wasn't trying to appease everybody.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to sound like somebody else. I looked at Lecrae, I looked at Eric Thomas, and I looked at these people, and I found myself as a man. And then I began to find myself as an artist. And then when you do that and you give your gift back to the Lord, all these things that you wrote down could come true and then some, like a building with your own studio and stuff like that. So it's a long story, long journey, but bro, from the Cody to the Eric Thomas to the Lecrae to this, everything just to the Ten Commandments thing, everything started tying together, bro. And so now I can't make music the same anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't make it better now.
I can't go back to making music like Soulja Boy anymore. I can't do it.
It's way better, bro. And it's way better. Like I said, man, I've always listened to your music, and it's always been like that like positive. Even like when you were like making music, like the stuff that you were putting out before you got on put on Lecrae and stuff.
Yeah.
Topeka High, so it was still had like that positive push behind it. You know what I mean? It still had like that, like you could tell. I don't know, like if it was just me, but like spiritually, I felt like I was like, oh no, he's got something different. You know what I mean? Like it's different. You could tell it's not your normal like, yeah, crank that Soulja Boy, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Swag surfing or anything like that. It's more like you have a message behind it. You know?
And before we move on to y'all's next question, I want to say something, because you said something so good during the story. You said you wasn't ready. Yeah. And another thing that I can think about, on my 21st birthday, I won that Hot 103 Jams contest, where it was like the best rapper in the region. There's hundreds of rappers from Missouri and Kansas and all the Midwest, and then they had Cardi B and the owner of Atlantic, and every record label was there, and they had to vote. Now, Travis O'Gwen was there, who owns Strange Music. Anybody from Kansas City, you usually know Strange Music, Tech Nine and them. So when I saw Tech Nine have his own studio, it was on TV, bro. One Saturday morning, I turned to MTV, and I see Kansas City on the TV, and Tech Nine was giving a tour of his own building. And I was like, bro, I was so mind blown, because I'm like, that's 45 minutes away from where I live, 50 minutes away from where I live. So I was always inspired by that. So when they was in there, and you got to perform for them, and they got to vote for you, I was a little nervous. So I didn't think I won. I gave up, bro. I said, yeah. It was like an 8-month journey. If you win, you get like a day record deal where you get to record an album at Strange Music, and you get and you get months of radio time.
Yeah.
When I heard my name called, bro, I'm not gonna lie with you. The reason I didn't react at first, because I was looking down. I had my head down.
Yeah.
Because I just knew I'd lost already. And when they called my name and I ended up winning, it was crazy. Again, on your 21st birthday. So when we went to Strange Music to record the album there, which is another dream come true that I had, bro, when they put that record contract on the table and I saw how much it didn't add up to how many days you're going to be away from your family. I was already a father. I became a father at 16. I was already married. I was married at 18. So, hey, you're going to have to be away from your family like 302 days a year. I'm like, wait, there's only 365 days. Wow.
Yeah, it's like,
You're going to be on tour all these things.
Yeah.
We're going to take 360% of everything. You're going to blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait a second. 360 deals for those of you.
Yeah, it's a 360. Yeah, it's a 360, yeah.
We're taking 360 of it all.
Yeah.
Videos, movies. I'm glad that it did not work out, bro, because I was moments away from, like, I was gonna do it, bro.
You was gonna sign.
I was
that dangling fruit, like you're like,
you wouldn't have been able to open up for. Was that before Lecrae, or was that?
This was
after.
It was after Lecrae, but before, like, I really was like, man, before the 10 Commandments thing.
Yeah, so man, you
so
would have
it's
done
like
that.
it's kind of in the middle. I would have did it because I still was struggling to find myself, and I only bring that up to say the dangling fruit. They show you all the Maybachs, the Phantoms, the Bentleys, and everything, and all the studios, bro. It's on I don't even know how many acres, and I almost did it, and it's like the Lord telling me, like, don't do that.
Yeah,
man,
don't do that. And
so you were fighting in that moment,
bro,
huh? It's like,
what, bro? Here's everything you've ever wanted, 21-year-old.
Yeah, oof. Yeah. Well, okay. Now, how'd you turn that down, and like how'd that go about?
Well, to be honest with you, still being conflicted with the music, it kind of became honestly, we're going to take the deal away from you because you aren't ready.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, forget what we said. Forget the offer because, bro, the music sounded like I was 21. I'm talking about what a 21-year-old would talk about. Yeah, he's faith-based, but he's still kind of in the streets a little bit. He still find himself. So every song that I had that was on the radio, I told these fellas, I got pulled down from streaming, pulled down from DSPs, because when I go back and I was listening to those songs, I cringed at the message that I was putting out. This is not something...
It's serious.
That I would want my own children to listen to, so why would I want other people's kids to listen to me? So those songs that were on the radio, people be like, oh man, that song, I got, let's not talk about that song. Why can't I find that on, you're not going to find that song no more, sorry. So it's like, that had to happen also as far as not being ready. For sure. You ain't ready for your own studio yet. You ain't ready for your own building yet because you still talking about this. You not even, you haven't fully surrendered your gift to me. Yeah. So I can't give you the fruits.
The key to the next door that I have ready for you.
Yeah. Like, so I wanted to put that piece in there for all the kids watching to educate. Like sometimes you think you're ready. Yeah. And you really not, and thank God sometimes that He don't give you what you asking for.
I feel the same way about all that. Like, because even I'm glad that, like, if I would have started dropping music, like at the time where, because I started in church at 9, you know, so I came from that influence and the gospel heavy influence, and so I was a believer. I mean, I became a true believer at church camp. At, like, I think it was, I think I was about 11 or 12. Like, really felt the Holy Spirit. So I was like, man, I know this is real. I know, and I knew I wanted to be a musician, but that's such a struggle though. When you, because God changes you inside out. So when you start walking different, you start really, like, even when you're sitting down to write a song, like, it's like, you think different. It changes your art. It changes your perception. Yeah. And I've been in situations myself, man, where I've had to, you know, and it makes me feel bad. But when, you know, I have other artists that may not be on the same foundation as me or whatever that is, I'm sure you've dealt with that too, where it's like, I'm cool with you, don't take it wrong, you know, but I just can't be on that. I don't want to be a part of this. This isn't the message. Like, I'm not pushing something like that. And because the power of musical influence is so important. Yes, Satan himself was a master musician, bro. I'm telling you, like, music is in every, and that's why the influence is so powerful. So when I connected that dot, I was just like, God, I remember telling God, like, in prayer, like, I will never take this gift any other way. I will never, like, leave me. I'll go wherever I need to go with this gift. And I just wanted to touch on that. Like, I feel that it's a struggle, bro. Like,
yeah. And bro, I don't know if I said this when we was at the coffee shop, but also he's not a rapper, but after that whole Tech 9 debacle and all of that stuff, when I struggled and finally got to one artist that really helped me find myself as an artist was Bob Marley. Because he was very unashamed of his own faith. And I was listening to how he can make a whole entire album about his faith and it come out and be one of the greatest albums ever, like Exodus, where you got songs like, you know, the biggest, like, don't worry about a thing, every little thing's gonna be all right. Like, these people don't realize this is faith-based music.
That's why it feels so good.
They're playing these songs on cruises. They're playing these songs in the stores, in all the movies, all the shows. It's like, yo, you know he's talking about God, right?
Exactly.
You know this Exodus song that you're playing in the club, you know he's talking about the book of Exodus. He's literally talking about the book. You're not listening to the lyrics. So like, when I started to listen to Bob and saw how unashamed he was about his faith, I said, okay, so you telling me I could be unashamed about Jesus in my art and it's still hit and be as impactful like how Bob did to the world. So that's really what put the kind of final stamp on it for me. And ever since then, bro, the moment I hear a beat, you send me a beat, the moment it's playing, I'm thinking about what to say. I can't help but to it just comes out. You already know, bro.
I know.
It flows, and now
it does.
And I used to be like, okay, I can't say that because the people is gonna think that he's too churchy, he's too lit. Forget all that.
Now it's like I've left that behind.
Like,
I've leveled up into a new type of writing even. Like, I'm not worried about that.
Don't care about that no more.
Yeah. and that's all process too to get to that point.
You gonna
Like,
be too churchy for the world.
Yeah,
in the
you
hood,
worry
and then
about
you
all
gonna
that.
be too hood.
You start catering
for the
too
church.
much
It's
to
like,
all
right.
that. You start catering, and that's hard as an artist too. Like you want to cater to so many people. Like, are
Can't
they
do
gonna
it.
like it? And at the end of the day, it's like, I'm gonna put this art out, and it's gonna do what it's supposed to do. I'm
Yeah.
gonna trust it. Like, however it's supposed to impact, go ahead and go impact.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and not try to control like, well, how many numbers is that now? Like, what's it out on YouTube?
Yeah,
What's it out on
yeah.
Instagram? And then that'll drive you crazy too.
Yeah.
Like,
It will.
I felt so weird when, like, because you want to please your peers. You want your peers to come to your shows and support you.
of course.
Every JQ show was packed with kids, and I'd be like, man, dang, like,
Where the homies?
like where's the homies
Right.
at?
Yeah.
Where's
That's
the
a struggle.
people
That's a
who's
real
my
thing.
age?
Yeah.
But when you start to think so negatively about your homies and your friends and your peers who ain't at your show, you forget a word that you just said. Did you hear me say the show was packed?
There it is.
Yeah, it was packed.
See, yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it's
it don't
like,
matter. Yeah.
right.
You
gon- he
know what I'm
gon-
You're
saying?
overlooking that blessing, like, but the so and so. What about? And it's like,
But your show was
boom,
packed.
Yeah.
yeah,
And you don't even know what you did for those kids.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
So I had
Yeah.
to get to a point where I was fine with that too.
Yeah.
Because it was like, dang, because now it's like, man, I'm not even making these songs for these kids. I'm making it for us.
Homies, yeah,
And
yeah.
then- but look at what the kids are
They
getting.
grown up listening to it. That's the
Like-
thing, and they grown. It's staying
Yeah,
in their
yeah.
ears as
That's
they're growing.
so, that's so important.
You're that seed is planted, but that seed is growing.
It's growing. When you got 11 when you got 11 8-year-old white boys coming up to you screaming black man soul, it's crazy. It gets crazy.
yeah.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
rapping these lyrics. I'm like, do you know what that means?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it sounds
Yeah,
good.
bro.
But it's like,
Man.
but you're planting those seeds.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get what I'm
That's it.
saying? So
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with where I'm at with it now,
Yeah.
bro.
yeah,
And then it leads to something like this.
Yeah, that's what
You know
I'm
what I'm
saying.
saying?
That's good.
I'm
Yeah.
not- you can't
Yeah.
be on. You do back to your plan versus his.
Mm-hmm.
Everything just is aligned with.
Yeah.
Bro. Sorry for the long story. For
No,
everybody.
no,
this
man,
is why
no.
we're here.
It's all.
This is why we're here.
It all
This is
ties in together.
It does, man. And as we kind of wrap things up and stuff like that, man. Like, what's where do you see yourself growing in the next 5 years? I know you talked about vision board and stuff like that, and it's usually a year plan. But what about that like midterm? That mid goal that you have.
In 5 years, I'll be 32.
Made me feel old. I'm 30.
Sorry, bro.
yeah.
I'm sorry, because I was trying to do the math.
Oh, yeah.
32. I already have a teenager.
Oh, okay.
Man, I'm trying to put myself in that
Yeah,
headspace. To be honest with you, bro, in 5 years, I would like to have taken another level artistically.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. And I would like to get to a place where there's not just one Lois Curtis campus.
Yeah.
But you got a few
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
It's not just here because it's like, what happens when you outgrow this place?
Yeah. That's what I was looking at. Like,
now it's only we only day 4 into this building, so
Yeah.
I'm not trying to move too fast. But we talking 5 years ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
5
yeah.
years ahead. If
Yeah.
you put in the work and stay focused and keep going
It
with
comes
where the Lord
fast.
is trying to lead you, it'll come fast, and you'll be like, dang, I got 5 buildings now.
There you go.
So I see expansion of this
Mm-hmm.
as well, and more importantly, outside of being of work of artistry of advocacy, in 5 years I'm trying to be more spiritually progressed.
There you go.
I'm trying to be a better dad. I'm trying to be a more whole, mentally healthy human, someone who's not wrestling with so much with those things that we were talking about earlier. I'm
Yeah.
trying to from spiritual milk to whole food.
There you go. Yeah.
That's the way I can explain. I'm trying to
Yeah.
have further
There it
plan
is.
be furtherly rooted in my foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I plan to, something like that. Building with meeting more great people to bring in my life, because like I said, so many people have been being removed from my life, but I believe that's because the Lord's making space.
He made space. Yeah.
He's making space for those
See,
new
yeah.
people to
Yeah,
come
yeah.
in. So I see
Yeah.
myself living in bliss with those people.
For sure.
You know,
For sure.
that's what I see
I
myself.
love that. I love that.
That's awesome, man. I got similar goals to that too, man. Spiritually being number one, because I say this all the time, but like I know that if we're spiritually healthy,
Yes.
to me, I know that if I'm spiritually healthy, like everything else is falling below that, and it's gonna be like I'm flowing in life. I'm flowing the right ways.
Yes, sir.
Like Bruce Lee even said, "Flow, be like water." I'm trying to flow like that. Like I just want to flow.
Yeah.
Not oppose when I'm supposed to, but like and just kind of walk smoothly forward, man, and not let the same things conk me in the head that are right now, and not be tripping on the same things. You know what I mean? But like I'm not even tripping on that no more.
Bro, you're not alone at all, bro. What about you?
I love that.
Sure, man, you know what I mean? I wanna be able to still be that positive role model for my son, man, accomplish the goals that I have. Man, I wanna, like, when I set up my like vision for this year, COVID happened, or I had COVID in January. And I was just like, I started vlogging. Like, that's when I really sat down. I was like, you know, and I have it. I'll have to go back and repost it here soon. But I said on one of the vlogs, I was like, man, 2024, I want to change my family's life. Like, and man, like everything, like I really got deeper with, you know, God and my spiritual connection and foundation and faith. And 5 years from now, man, I like to be traveling, man, you know, talking.
That's a good one, too.
Having mental health meetups, you know, with all types of people, you know, traveling and, you know, state to state, you know, showing my son the world, not just through textbooks, but showing him, you know, this is what's in the textbook, but there's history here, you know, like, man, I just everything, you know, like really be able to change my family's life and take my family with me, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
My mom, my dad, I want to be able to retire my mom. I want to be able to, you know, pack up in an RV, and my parents have their own RV and they traveling with us, you know what I mean? And we're seeing all this stuff and helping change people's lives, not only through my social media following, but in person as well.
You're doing it.
Retired.
You're doing it.
Yeah. It's coming, man. It's coming. Yeah, it's keeping that faith, man.
You already are, bro.
We all got, man, it's about, like, I love that we could sit here, man, and get to know you more too, because I've been waiting. I didn't know if it was maybe going to be music that would connect us, or a conversation, but I've been waiting to talk to you, you know, for a minute, man. So
thank you, bro. I'm glad y'all got to come check out the spot, bro. I'm glad that we got to I appreciate y'all even asking me to, you know, come on
of course,
and lend
thanks
the
for
voice to
having
y'all's
us.
audience, because I know you guys got a big platform, and you know, just bringing me on. And you said it a couple weeks ago. You're like, let's have you on the show. A lot of y'all be, you know what, and and you say,
you know what that is.
Nah, bro. Like when I say like, bro, we got like honestly, we looking at season 2 already, but like you're season 1, but we got like 20 episodes just alone in season 1. Man. So, and it's like, nah, man, like I'm really getting, like, and I'm reaching out. So like when I'm hitting these people up, it's like, I really want to get y'all on. Like I just, if you could say, like, we got 5 podcasts that we're shooting this week alone.
Yeah.
Like,
it's kind of just doors started open. Like I didn't even plan on like a podcast thing, because my main focus is music too. And I'm with you on just trying to artistically keep going. I'm working on an album right now. But this kind of happened, man, with the I'm from Topeka song, his videos, and then it feels right. Like people are, we're really connecting with people, man, in a deep way, and it's just, I don't know, man. It seems like we're gonna continue this, and but yeah, I can't wait. We got some things we're cooking.
Man, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to hear the first.
Man,
yo,
I'm excited.
And then I got something else. Sorry guys, but off came when it sends, I got something else I gotta ask you too. So
and that's gonna be huge too. That's gonna be huge too. But yeah, man, as we close out, our last question is, you know, we shining, we putting Topeka on the map. You know, we letting them know, but also for our people that are from here and that are not from here as well. Like, what's one memory that you like about Topeka that you have, and like, what's one thing that you'll never forget about this place?
It's crazy to be something so fresh, but last month there was a poetry operetta that was Arts Connect partnered with Washburn University. And Vanessa German is one of the top sculptors and artists in the entire America. In fact, I think I could be mistaken, but I was told that she has a piece of art in every museum in America.
Wow.
That's what I was told. So with it being the 70th anniversary of Brown versus Board of Education, she was hired. I can't tell y'all the amount of money they paid her, but it was a crazy amount. I saw it. How much they paid to bring her here, for her to executive produce and write and put together a operetta, which is basically a choir, but instead of singing in unison, you're talking in unison. So it's like poetry. So it's an operetta. So you're saying poems with each other, but you're all saying it at the same time in unison. So she was in charge, and she came she only moved to Topeka for 2 months, and that was so she could put her sculpting museum next door to the Mulvane Art Center. Y'all know the name of that other museum? It starts with Betty something.
I know what you're talking about.
But she has a whole exhibit in there, and while she was producing that, she was producing the operetta, and they picked 50 poets to be a part of it. That ended up, by the end of the process, getting buckled down to 20. And then it was so big, and then there's certain people got solos. So thank God I was one of those people to get a solo. My boy SJ invited me, and there was a lot of people in there. And after I got a solo, now you got to buckle down. There's a bunch of rehearsals. So for 1 month, you got 20 of these amazing artists, and I'm talking about from ages 7 to 70. Matter of fact, and she was 80, so 7 to 80.
Yeah.
Every race, Black, white, Mexican, Asian. It was so diverse, all of us being a part of this one operetta, and it was so big that they had a news story on us on Good Morning America last month.
Let's go.
New York Times.
Let's go.
And then our performance that night, which was at White Concert Hall, is submitted for every poetry category of the Grammys this coming year.
Let's go.
So to be Congrats a part of that, bro.
Yeah.
And it was such a spiritual thing, because of what we're talking about. Again, this is about Brown versus Board of Education.
For sure.
So this whole entire short play, it was 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the hardships of the Black struggle. In America, and what we have to go through. So, man, bro, to be a part of that last month, and then unfortunately my family couldn't be there because it was our first family vacation ever in Houston. So the moment I got off stage on the play, I had to catch a plane to Houston, but I couldn't miss that opportunity. But that was one of the best experiences, bro, awesome. I've ever been in, and that was about the city of Topeka. Notice what I said. Good Morning America, New York Times, talking about the city of Topeka. For something as powerful as Brown vs. Board. So to be an artist who got to be a part of that phenomenal piece of art is... Bro, man, there's a lot of great things that's happened in the city. I don't want to take that away from any other historical moment, but that was, bro, there's nothing like that. That is
amazing.
That was amazing.
Man. So,
my favorite movie for sure.
If it gets a Grammy, do you get a Grammy?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go. Yeah.
Knock on. There's no wood, but if it's in God's will, then I can potentially get 3 to 4 Grammys by this time next year.
Let's go. That's huge.
As well as all the rest of you who were participating. Because again, this was a community choir. So this choir was all artists from the city of Topeka. So that's a bunch of Grammys coming back to Topeka.
Grammy coming.
Not just me.
That'd be major for the city too.
It's big.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats on that, man.
Thank you, bro.
Where can everybody follow you at find you on social media or follow you at?
Now, y'all heard what I said about social media earlier, so I don't know how much y'all gonna have me on there, but what I will tell you is you can follow me on YouTube and TikTok. I'm gonna be there.
Perfect. Oh, yeah.
My organization is called No Chain Fellowship. Now, I'd be all day to tell you the meaning of that, but it means to not be chained up or bound up in any way. So we're trying to help these kids get free mentally and emotionally and spiritually in all of these ways. So that's the organization that I'm the founder and owner of. So that is the name that you can find me on TikTok and YouTube. If you look up No Chain Fellowship, you'll not just find all of my music, but you'll find all of the amazing things that we'll be doing here at the Lois Curtis Campus Center. And then if you want to pull up to the campus like these guys got, I'm here.
Yeah, he's here.
If you want to come check out the building, if you want to get your kids to participate, when we return in August, that'll be when the after-school program and the Sunday school program will pick up. But right now, we're focused on the summer program and the summer camp for these teens. But for all of the elementary school and middle school kids who've been begging and want to participate in August when school starts again, then y'all can come participate and we can come jam out and y'all can have the time of y'all life. I promise.
Let's go.
Bad, man. And then real quick, we gotta turn the beat on. We need a hot 16.
Oh, yeah, that's really why.
Hey,
we
we're gonna have one loaded up for next time.
Oh man, I was gonna say, I was like, bro, if you, I was like, hey,
he's
if you was
ready.
about to be a,
My dude's ready
finna
too.
be on there.
I gotta get something loaded up just in case.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So I just, but
But,
man,
yeah,
seriously.
appreciate you, man.
Thank you,
Yeah,
man, brother. Bro, thank
Thank
you,
you. Much
Appreciate
love,
you, bro,
man.
man.
Both
Much
of my brothers,
love.
man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, make sure that y'all are following, make sure that y'all are liking, make sure that y'all are subscribing, and hit that bell notification so you never miss out on an I'm From Topeka podcast, because we have amazing guests all the time. Episodes drop every Wednesday and Sunday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. We love y'all support, and we
Much
wouldn't
love,
be here
y'all.
without y'all. So keep spreading love, keep spreading peace. I'm from Topeka, baby.
We love our city.
Love.
Let's go.
Topeka, baby. It's about the people, baby. Yeah. I love my city, baby. From the north